We're going to begin with that ABC News exclusive, the story of how one New York woman beat coronavirus. We all saw this emotional moment when this survivor was wheeled out of the hospital to the applause of doctors and nurses. And now she is opening up the GMA. Will Reed joins us now with her powerful message. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Michael. Thanks. Whether you've seen that video or not, you might want to grab some tissues for some happy tears. A woman thanking the people who saved her life, being thanked by them. That is just the end of her remarkable story.
This is the moment that Christina Paz triumphed over coronavirus, leaving the hospital after more than 2 weeks with an incredible send-off.
Honestly, it was something to really be thankful for, and knowing that they cared that much to be there to say that goodbye was wonderful.
Doctors and nurses at Staten Island University Hospital cheering, clapping, saying a happy goodbye to the mother of 5 who for 15 days battled COVID-19, finally heading home into her husband's arms.
When I finally saw him, I could not have imagined what was going to come over me.
Christina's emotional release, reunion, and story shared by thousands. An uplifting end, but also a cautionary tale for so many. The 47-year-old with no underlying medical conditions started feeling under the weather in mid-March. After a few days, her symptoms wouldn't go away.
I noticed the cough was getting worse, and I was having trouble breathing. Then my family started telling me, you could have this. And I'm like, no, there's no way. Why would I get this? How could I get this? The most I did was, go out shopping and take the precaution while shopping. Washing the hands before, washing them after.
But Christina's condition worsened, and she knew she had to go to the emergency room. She was hospitalized, but didn't realize how bad her health was until she overheard her nurses telling her husband they were moving her to critical care.
And I still refused to accept how serious it was until I heard the nurses on the phone with my husband and telling him that they're taking me there because, they're afraid they may need to incubate and put me on the ventilator.
That prospect terrifying to Christina, who said she'd never gone more than a few hours without seeing her children. But the thought of her family also providing strength.
I'd sometimes dial just to hear their voices, and that for me was help. That was reminding me what I was fighting for, not to lay there and give up. Well, I just kept saying I have to get better enough to go home. I have a lot to go home to.
After 3 days in the CCU, Christina's condition stopped worsening and finally began to improve. And eventually she was well enough to go home for the first time in more than 2 weeks. All thanks, she says, to the people who took care of her.
There are not words strong enough to thank them for the care that they give. The doctors, the nurses, they all go way above and beyond. And nobody can thank them enough.
Christina's heroes cheering her on. Now she hopes to pay it forward.
I appreciate the opportunity to hopefully give inspiration, hope to those who may be facing or have loved ones facing the situation I have overcome. My heart goes out to those who have not been as fortunate in having a positive outcome. I give my sincere condolences, as I can only imagine the pain you are going through, but there is hope, and I am living proof of that.
Christina says that she now feels obligated to help those fighting the virus in any way she can, and she implores people to join together to beat this, and says that the strength that doctors and nurses need to do their jobs is immeasurable, Michael.
Absolutely it is, Will. Thank you so much for that. And Dr. Jennifer Ashton joined us now. And Doc, this is an incredible story. But you heard Christina say she had taken all the precautions that everyone's told to do, which I'm sure makes a lot of people wonder, how could this have happened anyway?
Well, because it's usually not the patient's fault. Someone can do all the right things. This virus is sneaky and this virus is powerful. But we do have to remember some numbers. In the first preliminary report published by the CDC, younger people aged 20 to 44 represented just 2 to 4% of ICU admissions, but it's not zero.
Well, thankfully she is at home, she is recovered. But what can happen to someone who is in critical condition with COVID-19?
Well, as we're learning more about how COVID-19 makes people critically ill, we take it by organ system. So obviously you look at the lungs first. And if you look at these two CAT scan images of the lungs, air looks black, areas that are not doing well look white. And you can see how it starts to kind of block off areas of the lung that are critically important for oxygenating the blood. Then if you look at the heart, new data is showing that cells, inflammatory cells, affect the heart muscle. COVID-19 can mimic heart attacks in an ICU setting, and they can cause irregular heartbeats, and they can also cause acute renal failure. So it really hits the whole body.
And that visual is a little scary there, Doc. And is it right to say that most people who do contract COVID-19 will not have a severe reaction and they will fully recover?
Well, the majority of people, especially under the age of 65, who are healthy beforehand, will survive. But this story is such a powerful reminder of what great medical care, the fighting human spirit can do. And this is exactly why in medicine, we never give up hope.
All right, Doc, thank you so much. Never give up hope. And why we cannot say thank you enough to all the doctors and healthcare workers out there at the front lines.
Yeah, the gratitude is immeasurable that she felt, and we're certainly glad she survived. And yes, we could all use a little hope on this Friday.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.